But first, again, please welcome Baylor track and field head coach Michael Ford.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. This is number 3, and I've had 3 different hosts. So, congrats.
Well,
first time for
you.
No,
well, I'm glad to be here for
Yeah.
number 3, and this is an exciting weekend for Baylor
Yes.
track and field as well. You've got the Michael Johnson Invitational that's coming up, and that's known as the MJ.
Yes.
It's Friday and Saturday at Clyde Hart Track and Field Stadium. I'm just so glad that you made it here because that's a lot on your plate. Josie Hutton here with Baylor Athletic Media Communications is here. She gave me a lot of great information. The MJ and Baylor will be hosting 1,000 or more than 1,000 athletes from 24 different teams. But let's talk about the competition in just a moment. But first, how special is it that you have an invitational who is named after one of Baylor's all-time greats, Olympic champion, world champion in Michael Johnson?
Well, Michael Johnson was probably my biggest hero as I grew up too. I still remember the day when I actually did my visit to Baylor. He actually picked me up from the airport, the small airport in Waco. He had his white Corvette. And so for me, that was a huge honor just to be around him and then to just see him train and get ready. And actually, I was able to run at the first Michael Johnson my last year with Michael Johnson. And so I have a picture in my office. I'm handing the stick off to him. So it was always going to be a memorable moment for me. And we still keep in touch over the years since he's been gone and since he's retired. But I think just the impact he had on Baylor track and field and at Baylor University was huge. A lot of people just know him as Gold Shoes. But I'm looking forward to keep another great Michael Johnson meet this weekend.
Yeah, that's just what a great memory too. But let me ask you this: you were really known, a two-time national champion in the relay, and you were known for just being an incredible lead runner. I mean, you were the lead person off the block. You handed the baton off to Michael? Was he running leg too?
Yeah. So. That year, I only had an indoor season. Back then, I guess we still redshirted people. I had an indoor season after I graduated. Coach Hart wanted me to come back out. And so Michael wanted a training partner. I trained with him in Dion Minor, and we ran a relay together. And since I ran first leg at Baylor for 2 years, my last 2 years, they said, hey, you're the perfect person to run first leg on this relay. So it was just like a little all-star relay, but it was an honor just to get to watch him run.
Wow, that is great, Coach Ford. Again, what a great memory. Okay, let's get back to the Michael Johnson Invitational, but I appreciate those stories because that's special, and to hear about why, we know why it's named after Michael Johnson, but it's very personal.
Yes.
And we love that at Baylor. So 1,000 athletes or more than that from 24 different teams. What can you tell us about the strength of this field at the Michael Johnson Invitational?
Well, initially we invited probably 10 teams, maybe 10 to 15 teams. And then we had some schools in the local area in Texas that wanted to come back. So we opened it up, and we ended up having the 24, 25 schools. And so probably a little bit too much, but we're going to make it work this weekend. But it's big. I think on the ladies' side, there's Josie could probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's maybe 4 ranked teams coming. So you have South Carolina, Oklahoma, us, and TCU on the ladies' side. And then also on the junior college side, you have New Mexico Junior College. They're the number 1, both men and women. And then Barton Community, they're, I think, number 3 and 1, and maybe second and another one on the ladies and the men's side. On the men's side, I think we have 4 teams that are ranked. You have TCU, I think Nebraska, and Oklahoma. So it's going to be a good field, probably one of our bigger fields. I think the big race that I'm looking forward to watching will be tomorrow, the women's 200. You have a couple of national champs in the 200, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that race tomorrow. There's some good performances, and also we have a lot of Baylor X's that are going to run. So like Trayvon Burmell, he's a gold medalist, and he'll be running the 200 also. And you have Will London, he's running the 400. You have Coach Aaliyah Miller. She's going to run. Actually, she's going to step down and run at 400. And then also Casey Lightfoot was another national champion. He's going to run he's going to vault. And so I'm looking forward to watching those our former athletes participate too.
Yeah, always great to have Baylor Bears come home, and they feel at home with the program, and they're at the Hart Track and Field Stadium. It's also a special day because it's Senior Day, and are coaches ever ready for Senior Day?
No, I think the time goes so quickly. Like, you can always remember their freshman year, and then it goes by really quickly. It seems like their freshman year takes a long time, but then after that it goes by quick. And I think we have 26 seniors graduating, and they're all special in certain ways, and they've all had touched the program in different ways, either on the track or academically. And so it's going to be a long senior day. I think this is probably one of our bigger senior classes this year. But hopefully I won't cry, because there's some good ones that are leaving. But I'm looking forward to just recognizing them and having a nice crowd to recognize them also.
Right, and that is the Michael Johnson Invitational tomorrow and Saturday at the Clyde Hart Track and Field Stadium. Our weekly Baylor Coaches Show continues now with Baylor Track and Field coach Michael Ford. And Coach Ford, you were just telling me that there will be a former track and field student athlete who will be throwing out the first pitch at the Baylor baseball game versus Utah in just about 16 minutes from now.
Yeah. Trayvon Brumell actually filled in for me. I think we got double booked, and I was supposed to throw out the first pitch today, but I had to be here too. So can't be at two places at once. So he filled in for me, and hopefully we'll get that ball over the mound.
That's right. You know what? If he has to run it to the mound, I think that is perfectly fine as well. Hey, a few hours ago, we got the news that Baylor Track and Field announced that Nathaniel Ezekiel, who's a senior, one of your sprinters, the 400, the 400 hurdles. That's an amazing double there. But and we can talk about that from your experience in the Olympics too. But the 4x400 meter relay. But he's landed a spot for the third consecutive update to the Bowerman watch list.
Yes.
And tell us what the Bowerman watch list is and what that actual trophy is, because that is big time in the world of track and field.
Yeah, well, our Bowerman trophy is the Heisman. It's the Heisman Trophy of track and field. And so for him to be selected as on the watch list is very important. He had a really good indoor season, finishing runner-up at nationals in the 400, also winning Big 12s, running the fastest time, and for a while he had the fastest time in the world. And so for him to be on that list is very strategic. So there's most of the people who have won the Bowerman have ended up being Olympians, winning gold medals. And so for him to be on there, I think Trayvon was on there for a little bit. I know Casey Lightfoot was on there for a little bit too, and then even Zaza was on there too. So for him to be on there, and then he'll open up this week, so he'll get a little bit more credit for what he's doing outdoor season, because this will be his season opener.
Yeah, we'll have the opportunity to see him tomorrow. Is it tomorrow that we'll be able to see him?
Yeah, he'll run the 400 hurdles tomorrow night.
All right, and you don't want to miss him. He was the Big 12 Indoor Performer of the Year, and just as you said, the runner-up in the 400 meter at the meters at the NCAA Indoor Championships. Just what, 1/100th or 1/10th or so of a second, I think, short of gold. But we look forward to seeing him running this weekend in the 400 meters, the 400 hurdles, and the 4x400 relay.
Yeah, we'll make a decision on Nate if he's going to run the open 400 or just on a relay. We won't have him run 3 races his first time out, but he'll definitely run the 400 hurdles tomorrow, and then he'll probably just run a relay.
All right, let's talk about Baylor women's track and field. You were mentioning one of 4 nationally ranked teams that will be competing at the Michael Johnson Invitational here at Baylor. Your women's track and field team ranked number 6 in the nation. And, we'll talk more about Alexis Brown here in just a minute. But to have the 6th ranked team in a sport with big state schools, with big rosters, is this something, Michael, that speaks to quality over quantity?
Yes, it does. And that's the thing about track and field. It's always about the quality of your student athlete, not the quality. Like, I think the quality matters more probably at the conference meet, but at nationals, if Lexus if she could score in long jump and in the 100 or the 60 like she did indoor. And so for us is we have the quality athletes that can help us at that meet. And so I think this year our ladies have been pretty locked in all year. They kind of fluctuated. Last week they were number 5. This week they're number 6. The one thing about track and field is it's per week. So it changes, the rankings change based off what you're doing. And so it's not like a football or basketball. You lose a game, you might drop 1 or go up. Every week, we were 5 last week. We didn't compete a lot of people last week, but what helped this, I think, maintained us was our pole vaulters did really well at the meet down at A&M. Molly and Tinley did really well there. And so right now we have the number 1 long jumper in the country. We have the number 1 pole vaulter in the country. Our relays are in the top 10, and then we have Janae. She's I think number 5 in the country, and then Tinley's in like the top 10 too, also on the pole vault. So, and then Tariah Kelly's in the top 12 too. So in the 200. So I think with those quality athletes, as long as we keep maintaining that throughout the rest of the year, we'll be fine. And I think the big thing is keeping them focused and locked in going into our championship season, which will be in May.
Yeah, you have the Michael Johnson Invitational, and then you have a UCF, and then you have one other.
We have an A&M, and then we have
Big 12.
Big 12s. Yes.
All right, and then NCAA.
Yes.
So there's a lot ahead, and it'll be here before you know it, as we know. But let's talk about Alexis Brown, because just an incredible athlete who is back for another season. She's the 2025 National Indoor Long Jump Champion. She's currently number 1 in the nation in the long jump. 2 weeks ago, and I loved seeing the Instagram videos on this, but at the Pepsi Florida relay, she jumped 7 meters. And if you want to do let's talk about them in inches, or 22 feet, 11 3/4 inches.
Yeah.
So she's, she is right there, and one of only I think 6 collegians all time who've hit 7 meters. How significant is Alexis Brown's season right now?
Yeah, and it's funny because she wasn't supposed to even compete at that meet. She was going to just run a relay. She begged myself and Coach Smith to long jump there. She had some success last year at that meet, so the plan was to actually have her open up here at our meet here, but she was just like, no, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to go. And the 7 meters popped, and we were like, whoa. And, but she had a really good indoor season. I think she was just itching and ready to go. But we know her season is going to be pretty long, so we were just trying to almost like a pitch count, just making sure that we don't overdo it early on. But the 7 meters, her speed has gotten better. Her technique has gotten better. And I think she still has a lot more room to grow in the long jump too. And I know now we're trying to make sure that she's consistent at 7 meters going into the rest of the season. So she'll be jumping tomorrow also, so we'll look forward to seeing her maybe jump 7 meters at home.
That would be awesome. Yeah. We'll be clapping for her. We'll just be cheering 7 meters as she gets ready to jump. And speaking of health tips, we have one that leads right into it. I want to thank Roy for this question. Tomorrow is the Michael Johnson Invitational at the Clyde Hart Track and Field Stadium. Are all the athletes good to go for tomorrow and Saturday?
Well, I pray they are. I think we're actually getting a lot of our athletes back from some minor injuries, and so at the moment everybody will be competing tomorrow, especially at the home meet. We're some of our field event people may not take all their throws, like Zaza may not take all his throws, but everybody will be competing.
That is good news. And speaking of staying healthy, what are the priorities for your track and field athletes to stay healthy, to stay fit, and to stay ready for competition?
Well, I think the big thing is just recovery. That's probably the one thing that we preach a lot is the recovery, making sure they cool down, warm up correctly, and see our wonderful trainers too. And so a lot of our top athletes have their I call it a prehab sheet and a post-hab sheet. So they're doing treatment beforehand, they're doing treatment after, but I think the big thing is, and then fueling their bodies. And so we do a good job on the nutrition side, to at least try to, and I think just the recovery. But I think the rest is more important than anything. And so a lot of times, even most of the time, like the jumpers, the sprinters, they're just taking off on Wednesday. We're not even seeing them just because I think just a mental break from being away from the track is a good thing, and then they can just go get treatment. They can, do whatever they need to do during the week. But I think just getting some rest. There's no cure for sleep. I think sleep is probably the most important thing, and so we're always preaching the sleep part. Yeah, with the 2-day meets.
I think Alexis Brown, the great long jumper at Baylor, I think she heard that loud and clear because I read, it's rest.
Yeah.
It is rest that has really been a key for her. So
and that's
hope she gets a good night's sleep tonight.
Yeah, that's what we keep preaching to them. And then, like, tomorrow we'll do, like, our walkthrough in the morning. And then they'll go back, grab some lunch, and then get ready for tomorrow evening.
Got another question from Roy. How many female pole vaulters do we have, and is it the most ever?
Yes, we have 8.
Wow.
Yeah, we have 8 pole vaulters.
Good question,
They'll
Roy.
all be competing tomorrow. I think there's a field of maybe 36, and so we have 8 out of the 36 going to compete tomorrow. Of course, you have Molly Haywood and Tinley Kuhn, and then you have Ileana. You have Raina. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
But
yeah,
8.
But that's 8. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
but
amazing.
Coach Richards, he does a good job. He has like 3 practice sessions, but he's doing a great job with all of them. And so I think probably we have a possibility even at the Big 12 championships to probably maybe score 3 to 4 if they hit right on that day.
All right, and that is coming up in 3 weeks,
yes,
right?
In 3
Big 12
weeks.
championships will be in Lawrence, Kansas this year. We look forward to that. But first things first, we're still focused on Michael Johnson Invitational. Yes. So at the MJ tomorrow, this is a very interesting question here. Okay. Will we ever see a Will London Sr. versus a Will London Jr. 400? And tell who each Will Sr. and Will Jr.
So actually, there's Will Jr. is actually on our staff, and then Will the third is the one that ran for us.
Gotcha.
And so I don't know if I call Will Jr. Pops. I don't know if Pops would want to run a 400. He might walk a 400, but I don't know if he wants to run a 400 against his son right now.
I think that would be true of all of us right now. Ronald from West, are you out here? Hi, Ronald. How are you? Thanks so much for being here for the Coaches Show. From West Texas, the next great quarter miler, and is there a great sprinter from Woodville, Texas? All right, a great Woodville, Texas. Ran a 9.9 as a sophomore. That is in East Texas. Woodville is around. All right, don't let him get away, Coach Ford.
Well, thank you.
All right, well, I'm going to let you have that one.
Okay.
So thank you very much for the question. And Coach Ford, thanks so much for taking the time to be with us today. You've got a big weekend ahead, and I know that you're preparing your team for that, and we just appreciate you taking the time to be here.
I always very appreciative of y'all having us coaches on here just to talk about our sport and talk about our seasons. And so I'm looking forward to the next 2 days of great competition and rest of the season.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some good weather. We're going to be keeping on praying for that too. And,
yes,
and,
please do. We'll definitely keep praying for the rain to not come and the wind to die down just a tad bit. But looking forward to it. I think regardless, we have to compete in all elements, and so we just get used to doing it. Yeah.
All right, more than 1,000 athletes, 24 different teams.
Yes.
Michael Johnson Invitational tomorrow and Saturday at the Clyde Hart Track and Field Stadium. Coach Ford, thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.